Now at 10, Pittsburgh finds an all too common problem in America right in its own backyard. Plus, Water Garden hosts an open house for the Washington Family Hope Center, and students at Baxter Springs High School plug into a different form of competition.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Scattered thunderstorms roll through the four states. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now to break it all down.
Yeah, we've been tracking strong to severe thunderstorms, several severe thunderstorm warnings that we have had throughout the evening hours, and most of these now are pushing along and south of I-44. Still a severe thunderstorm watch out for a couple more hours until midnight, and then all of our severe threat will be gone. But most of the threat now is along and south of I-44. Look at the band rolling off toward the east, but also flaring up a little bit in southwestern Missouri, also northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Look at the lightning, so very electric storms. The one across the eastern parts of Newton County, and then kind of works back toward the west, right through the center of Joplin up toward Carthage. And then once you get into northeastern Oklahoma, another big cluster from Grand Lake all the way through parts of McDonald County. So we do still have a couple more hours of strong to low grade severe thunderstorms. Also a cold front is rolling through. We're going to look at that all coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. It's no question homelessness is on the rise across America. Numbers from the National Alliance to End Homelessness data show more than 420,000 people were homeless in 2022. Unfortunately, the city of Pittsburgh is no different. KOAM's Tanya Bach sat down with city leaders to get their take on the situation and then hit the streets to talk to the homeless firsthand.
Is your current monthly rent mortgage amount? What is it? 0.
Shay Ellsworth is helping her homeless friends apply for food stamps. She moved to Pittsburgh 5 months ago from Hayes, Kansas.
So I came down here for family, but me and my family didn't see eye to eye.
Ellsworth is part of the latest wave of homeless who have moved into Pittsburgh. Reported numbers show 300 homeless in Crawford County, with about 100 of them living in Pittsburgh.
The reality is, so few people can be trusted nowadays.
David McClendon, on the streets for the past 5 years, is on track to have both a job and house by this winter. He says as new homeless move into town, their community is getting a bad rap.
This group has attacked 2 of our local elderly ladies, one 63-year-old disabled woman. Another woman in her 50s, I think she's like 54, 56, something like that, attacked her with a bat, a baseball bat. I'm like...
Just about anything that happens in America happens here, and so we've definitely seen an uptick as well.
An uptick that hasn't come without its problems. Pittsburgh City Manager Darren Hall says 25% of police calls in August involved a homeless person.
Where there's now a little bit of a danger element to the kids who are walking to and from school.
Roger Lomchek and Kevin O'Connell are fed up with an increase in crime, drug use, and other problems. They created the Citizens for Pittsburgh Facebook group and are behind a homeless petition initiative.
We want it to be the place that you remember from when you were a kid. So that's basically our group effort, is to just try and improve the quality of life in Pittsburgh.
One of their talking points, holding property owners accountable for abandoned homes.
You know, it's natural. It's when the pink slip goes on the door, it's kind of a obvious sign that it's probably uninhabited and it's available, but it's really not. It's not safe.
Kim Foreman leads the city's codes enforcement and inspection departments. She says we can expect the removal of more condemned homes in 2024 as the city has tripled its demolition budget.
You know, we understand it's taking away shelter, but it's usually someone else's property. You know, sometimes in the winter there's fires started because there's usually no utility services to these homes, water or electric or things like that.
On a daily basis, anywhere from 70 to 90 will check in here at the Wesley House for day services like breakfast, shower, lunch, and laundry. But those services end at 4:30, and then it's time to leave. Some head to hidden homes in the woods.
This was a big mess.
How long have you lived here?
Well, I've been here about a year.
And others just try to find some shade. But even popular homeless hangout spots like Doremus Park close at 11 p.m.
Where do you go when the city closes the park here at night and they make you leave?
You want me to be honest, lady? I go hide in a bush somewhere.
For the night?
Yeah, straight up.
I was asked by an individual at one point, where can I go? And I didn't have an answer.
One thing is clear, conversations are happening, whether it's complaint-driven or citizen-driven. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Kansas, Tanya Bach, KOAM News.
Darren Hall says a long-term goal for the city is to get all the homeless into a home. In the meantime, the city is focusing on outreach. He says the municipal court now has a mental health worker at the court so they can reach out to people who have just gone through the system. Watered Gardens hosted an open house for Joplin's newly renovated and expanded Washington Family Hope Center. Now, in the past, the Washington Center could shelter mothers who become homeless, but not their children. Now they're able to keep families together as they get back on their feet. For Watered Gardens, the process of bringing more families in will take some time.
Well, we're going to stage them in. So we would love to bring in a mom with kids in the next week, but we're not going to bring in 9 families all at once. So we'll stage that in over time.
The Washington Center is at 1112 East 2nd Street in Joplin. Baxter Springs High School is debuting an e-sports team. KOAM's Amber Jenkins talked to some students about their upcoming season.
As many know, September is the start of football season, but another sport is starting too.
Welcome to the first ever official esports team.
Just replace the helmet with a headset.
So our goal is to just be competitive. There's over 3,300 schools in the entire high school esports league, and while we'll only be playing schools in our region, we are going to be facing very good teams and very good players.
Each unit costs about $2,000, including the gaming chair, headset, and computer. Baxter Springs High School wanted to give the students quality units to propel their skills or develop them.
How do I change my settings?
Well, I'm just not really game kind of person, but I do play video games, just not a lot.
I mean, I've been a gamer my whole life. It's just this is natural to me.
I had to quit basketball and volleyball so that I could do it because I just wanted to be able to just do this year.
For some gamers, the esports team provides a safe environment to game without any online trolls or harassment.
That's why I kept myself hidden. I didn't use my voice and my face because that's how it is being a woman.
I sound like a man.
I know, but you know.
The popular tactical shooter, Valorant, is one of the games the team will compete in.
I'm dead. That one.
The students say the game forces you to think and communicate efficiently and quickly.
That can definitely translate to the classroom. If you're struggling with something, they can help you out, or you can help someone else out.
I do like a lot of stuff where you have to think and you have to go and do puzzle things, like Little Nightmares, for example. You have to do a lot of thinking in that game.
Reporting in Baxter Springs, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The sports team will have 3 seasons every school year for fall, winter, and spring. Coming up, Missouri Southern brings a taste of Ireland right here to the 4 states, plus why thousands of birds have descended onto the power lines of Joplin. Missouri Southern today hosted a Taste of Ireland. For $13, people could sample some of Ireland's finest dishes, courtesy of MSSU Fresh Ideas. Items on the menu include Irish stew, Irish pub salad, bangers and mash, fish and chips, shepherd's pie, bread pudding with whiskey sauce, and more.
Oh, it's a fun event. So many of our activities are lecture-based presentations, and this is just fun where people can come out and get together with friends and family and enjoy some food they might not otherwise be able to sample.
Being able to see what we created, anything if there was something that we missed, which is salt. We like to put extra love into everything that we make, so we are very proud of what we put out here, and we put out quality food.
After the Taste of Ireland wrapped up, there was a showing of the Irish film Sing Street in the Cornell Auditorium of Plaster Hall. And that wasn't the only event at MSSU today, as the campus played host to a petting zoo. Featured a baby wallaby and kangaroo, an ostrich, a baby and mother tortoise, and some of those lovable goats there. And the goal of the petting zoo, well, it's to relieve some of the back-to-school tension and to just have some fun. If you're driving by East 20th and Range Line in Joplin a little after 7 p.m. these days, something different might catch your attention. Thousands of birds flying around and lining up on the electric lines. KOAM's Fernand Silva spoke to a bird expert to understand.
Chiara Sbravacci was driving on East 20th Street in Joplin when she saw something different.
I've never seen so many birds around here at the same time. We drive like about 5 or 6 blocks and they were literally everywhere.
Sbravacci's video was recorded in the beginning of the week. She's not the only one surprised by the number of birds in the area. Cashier at a convenience store in the same street, Sergio Rocco sees them every day.
Sometimes I think they're bats even, I'm not sure.
It might look abnormal and even scary for some, but according to Maddie Jackson, naturalist at Wildcat Glades Nature Group, having that many birds around, especially that many European starlings, is common.
At night they do something really interesting, which is called murmuration. So you see these very large groups and it seems like they're kind of moving together. It's thought that that's to avoid predators.
Experts say because this is the end of the breeding season, the bird population might be bigger than usual. They also mentioned that the birds might be picking this area of Joplin because of the food availability. Originally from Europe, these birds are now very populous all over the United States. While European starlings likely won't cause trouble for us humans, that doesn't mean that they are not affecting other species around them.
In Missouri, they do something called displacing native species, so they outcompete for nest sites and for food. So our native birds that evolved to be here are in competition with starlings, and starlings are just good at what they do.
In a bird competition, European starlings certainly put a good show in the skies.
It was just beautiful to see and a little scary, but it was nice.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
If you're kind of curious, you want to see those European starlings in Joplin, well, Maddie Jackson recommends driving around East 20th Street and Rangeline Road in Joplin around 7:30 p.m. A little bit later, residents of Miami raised their voices and opinions during tonight's City Council meeting.
And we also still have some thunderstorms rumbling outside. Those details coming up. We have definitely been watching showers and thunderstorms kind of rumbling through over the past several hours, some strong, even some low-grade severe ones across the region, and we still have them kind of rumbling through, especially along and south of I-44 for the next couple hours, and then things will really start to calm down for the rest of the night. However, still severe thunderstorm watch in effect Oklahoma, Arkansas, and then along and south of I-44 in southwestern Missouri, but this only goes on for about another hour and a half. And then all of our severe threat is going to be gone at this point in time. Storms kind of got going, Nevada back toward Parsons, Independence, and have been rolling off toward the south and to the east over the past several hours. And we still have some at least strong storms out there, but we don't have anything severe at this moment, which is good. And at least a lot of areas have picked up some beneficial rain. All right, let's zoom into Joplin. So we're looking Carthage all the way down 59 toward Diamond. I-44 Sarcoxy all the way over to Mount Vernon. A strong thunderstorm. Monette, Aurora, extending down south Purdy to Stella in southeastern parts of Newton County. Another big complex really from Grand Lake points west. So this is going to roll through Delaware and then eventually into McDonald County. And McDonald County has a big cell right now. Look at all the showers and thunderstorms, a lot of lightning. McDonald County and then stretching into the western half of Berry County. So again, these are going to stick around for about the next hour and a half or so, and then all these thunderstorms will be out of here. But I really think our severe threat from this point on is pretty low. All right, let's look at about 11 p.m. to midnight. Showers, thunderstorms still ongoing for southern counties. Then after that, we're pretty quiet. We drop back into the mid 70s, eventually into the 60s. Later on tonight, lower 60s for overnight lows, so it's going to feel a lot more pleasant as a cold front is working in. You can see that cold front. Look at the winds. Northwesterly winds, southerly winds. So that front is working through the region. That's what fired off all those showers and thunderstorms. Still 76, feels like 76. The winds out of the south, but gusts upwards to about 31. And watch this wind shift line advancing. So it's almost to the I-44 corridor, and then behind that front, it actually cools down a little bit as we go into Wednesday, which is good because today, high temp at 98. All right, here's this wave. It's going to sink south. On the backside, we get those northerly winds bringing us in a little bit cooler air as we go into tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be into the mid-70s by noon. Let's go into the afternoon. We'll stop at 4:30. 85 Nevada, 85 Neosho, 84 Columbus, Veneta 86. Almost about 12 to 13 degrees cooler than what we did see today, which is great to see. And then tomorrow night, we're going to have clear skies and we're going to drop back into lower 60s for lows. But we are going to rebound back into the lower 90s on Thursday. All right, day planner for you tomorrow, 77 by noon, plenty of sunshine, high temp, 86, back to 92 Thursday, 89 morning thunderstorms on Friday. The weekend overall pretty good. We hang out near 90, and then Monday and Tuesday more thunderstorms, cooling down into the 80s. I know today was almost 100, but the overall trend is starting to look a little more fall-like, which is good.
That's kind of what you expect as you head toward the fall. And eventually it's going to start looking more winter-like.
I know it.
I'm hoping. Thanks, Doug. Hey, the Joplin City Council tonight approved on first reading an agreement with the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission to conduct a transportation planning program. Council also approved its 2023 Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan targets that's required by federal law. One topic of tonight's Miami City Council meeting was the addition of a building in downtown Miami that would replace a city parking lot. The parking lot is used by many businesses downtown, including the Coleman Theater. Some community members pushed back against the project, stating it takes away from already established programs for kids downtown. Some also said taking away the parking lot would force more people to cross Highway 69 to get to the building, posing risks to pedestrians. The council tabled a vote on this project until their next meeting. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern and Pitt State football preview their Week 2 opponents and highlights from this afternoon's softball game between Neosho and Nixa. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Week 2 of the college football season is upon us, and Pitt State began the year with a 34-7 win over Washburn at home. This Thursday, the Gorillas hit the road for Fort Hays State, and they feel there were some bright spots to build upon in Week 1, but also room for improvement.
Me and Chad have a great connection. He knows that all I need to do is just get a hand on the ball, so he feels pretty safe throwing me the ball, whenever there's a little bit of space. Just getting down to the fundamentals, not really trying to put too much pressure on ourselves. Going back and really just honing in on a couple small details, I think will shore up a lot of things for us on the offense.
The focus this week was just to clean up our mistakes from Week 1. I feel like the best teams get a lot better from Week 1 and Week 2, so this week we plan on cleaning up a lot of our mistakes and just coming out fast and finishing strong.
Missouri Southern football also heading on the road for game number 2. Lions head to Washburn and are coming off a loss to number 5 Northwest Missouri State. A game in which they led 14-0. They threw for over 300 yards but couldn't finish down the stretch of the second half.
We've talked about, just doing a better job defensively on third down, offensively just continuing that momentum and maximizing every possession that you get. If you're going to get a loaded box, well, we better pass the ball well. If we're going to get a light box and 2 high safeties, well, we better run the ball well. So those things go hand in hand, and there's going to be games where we're going to go off for 300 yards rushing, but there's also going to be games where we're going to go off for 400 yards passing the ball.
I'm not looking to go out there and do too much or anything, but if they're going to allow us to pass, then we'll do that, and I'll take whatever I see and just trust my eyes. So, game plan is just to trust myself, trust the team, and whatever gets called, we're going to execute it.
Now here's a look at the updated coaches poll in Division II as of this afternoon. The Gorillas move up a spot to number 3. That's because Grand Valley State drops down to number 7 after losing to Colorado Mines in Week 1. Northwest goes up a spot as well after that win over Southern. And Emporia State, the only other MIAA school in the top 25, they're down at number 18. Busy day of local softball as well. Neosho hosts Nixa this afternoon. The Wildcats trying to win their second home game of the season. Carly Kinnard on the mound for the Wildcats as starting pitcher. Strikeout for her in the third, one of 7 on the day for her through 5 innings. This one will go back and forth. Nixa held a 6-5 lead in the 7th, but then this RBI single from Jordan Phillips into center gives them a little bit of insurance. Eagles take a 7-5 lead into the final half inning. That's where things get interesting though. First batter walks, then Becklin Garrett comes to the plate, knocks this bloop into right center. It falls down, tying run on base. Fast forward ahead. Bases loaded, winning run on base, and Journey Arnall smashes this one into the gap in right center. 2 runs score, game is tied. Winning run now on third base. Go ahead again, 2 outs, bases loaded. Ashlyn Stevens comes to the plate. She squares around to bunt, and Kinnard slides in ahead of the force. Neosho wins on a walk-off bunt. The Wildcats score 3 in the 7th to take down Nixa 8-7. And another local softball game of note this evening. Webb City takes down Carl Junction 10-7. Cardinals got things started early on offense, scoring 1 in the first, 3 in the second, then 6 in the third. Abby Sargent with 3 hits and scored 3 runs. Carson Cahoon with a double, a home run, and 6 RBIs. And back to Pitt State football briefly. Also news for them today, Jack Barkley, linebacker, had a career-high tackles in Week 1. He's the MIAA Defensive Player of the Week.
Off to a great start.
Definitely.
Sure. We'll be right back. Well, as you know, we've needed the rain, and some of us, fortunately, are getting some.
Still scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly along and south of I-44 the next couple hours, but sunshine returns tomorrow. Cooler. High temp, 86.
Final sports notes.
Big football news today. 2 nights ahead of the season opener, Travis Kelce hyperextends his knee, but Chiefs being tight-lipped about it. We don't know his status for Game 1.
We might not know until shortly before kickoff.
Probably.
Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great tomorrow.